Transforming your life with hypnotherapy just got easier with your host, Julie from CoachingHypnosis.net.
Welcome back, dear listener, to Coaching Hypnosis, to my wonderful community over in the United States. I got a little something to help you reclaim your time this month. We talk so much about wellness and self-care, but you can't do that if you're stuck in the grocery aisle. That's why I've partnered with Instacart. If you're here in the US and haven't tried it, you get free delivery on your first 3 orders. It's a total game changer for getting your healthy essentials delivered right to your door in as fast as 30 minutes. You can also try using the promo code FSAHSA1035 at checkout for extra savings. To get those free deliveries, just click the link in my show notes. So thank you so much for the love. Cheers. Today, we're talking about the imposter's boardroom. Let's be radically, hilariously honest. Half of you listening right now are convinced that today is the day the adults finally walk in and realize you've just been 3 kids in a trench coat this whole time. You've got the title, the salary, and the corner office, but you're still terrified that if someone asks you a follow-up question you didn't prep for, the whole house of cards will collapse. Today, we're peeling back the mask on imposter syndrome, not the soft version you read about in magazines, but the raw, exhausting reality of how you use Buzzword Bingo and 80 slide decks to hide the fact you're still waiting for someone to give you permission to be the boss. If you've ever had imposter syndrome, your internal monologue is a frantic analytical loop of negative expectancy. You tell yourself the evidence script. If I have a 90-page appendix with every possible data point, they won't notice that I'm actually just making my best guess. I'll bury them in spreadsheets so they're too tired to realize I'm a fraud. The buzzword shield. I'll just mention synergistic scalability and pivot-ready infrastructure. No one knows what that means, including me, but it sounds like something a real CEO would say. The discounting script. Oh, the 10 million launch? That was luck. The team did it. I just happened to be in the room. I'm basically a glorified mascot. The raw honesty. You are stuck in autonomic reactivity. You aren't through. You are paranoid. You are using detail as an avoidant coping mechanism because you're terrified of the ambiguity of just being a human with an option. You've created an unrealistic self-assessment where everyone else is a genius and you're just a lucky amateur who's good at Googling things. It's almost funny how much energy you spend performing leadership. You're in a meeting and someone uses an acronym you don't know. Instead of asking, you nod and make a mental note to look it up in the bathroom later. You are terrified of saying, I don't know, because you think that's the magic word that will trigger security to escort you out of the building. You are terrified of saying, I don't know, because you think that's the magic word that will trigger security to escort you out of the building. Because you have an external locus of control, you've given the board and clients and even your junior staff the power to validate your existence. You are a slave to the room's energy. You use global communication style, talking in big sweeping generalizations because you're scared that if you get specific, you'll get caught. You're living in a future orientation of the great discovery where you're eventually unmasked and shamed. It's a full-time job pretending to be you. To break the imposter loop, we have to realize that everyone is winging it. Some people are just better at the executive face than you. 1. Identity realignment. We use hypnosis to shift your identification stable. We move you from fraud who got lucky to the leader who learns on the fly. We teach your subconscious that value is about judgment, not knowing every fact. 2. Autonomic reset. We anchor a state of calm presence. When you don't have the answer, we make I'll get back to you on that feel like a power move, not a confession. 3. Internalizing the locus. We rewire the brain to acknowledge that luck didn't build your company. Decisions did. We replace the anxiety with a solid internal foundation that says, I belong in this room because I'm the one who had the guts to stay in it. Today, let's try a fraud buster exercise. 1. In your next meeting, when someone uses a term or reference you don't fully understand, Ask them to explain it. 2. Notice the instant panic in your gut. That's your CEO mask trying to protect you. 3. Watch the other person's reaction. Most of the time, they'll be happy to explain it. And here's the funny part, they'll probably respect you more for having the confidence to ask. 4. Say to yourself, my value is my vision, not my vocabulary. Feel the lightness of not having to be the smartest person in the room for 5 minutes. The only person who thinks you're a fraud is you. The rest of the world is too busy worrying about their own trench coats to notice yours. If you're tired of the exhaustion of the act and you're ready to trade your imposter syndrome for unshakable, authentic authority, book your free 40-minute clarity call. Let's dismantle the fraud script and install the subconscious confidence you need to lead as you, not the version of you that you think they want. Remember, aligned subconscious plus authentic presence equals effortless authority. Thanks for listening. Align your mind. Stop faking it. Grow your business. Mindfully yours, Julie.